I am live. I am continuing with The Last Barrier, a Sufi journey written by Reshad Feilds, published 1976. We are here in chapter 7. He is in Turkey. Hamid is his teacher, and this is the second reading of this chapter, because they were a bit longer. He's having a conversation with Hamid. How will I know when this is happening? How do I tell when I'm ready, speaking from the heart? That is not an easy question to answer, since if your heart were opened, you would know. But I can say this: if you speak with this new language, then you will see real change coming about in the people with whom you are trying to communicate. The word, together with the breath, carries the spirit into the relative world and brings about this change. Without real change, there is no freedom, either for the seeker on the path or for those with whom he cometh in contact. You see, the heart is the seat of the soul. When you speak from the heart, you can kindle the fire in the hearts of others. Through recognition, you actually begin to awaken the soul which is asleep, and fire spreads. There's nothing more catching than love. But first you have to die in love if you wish to live as a real human being and thus bring others to love. That is why it is said in Islam. That is why it is said in Islam, die before you die. We have to learn to die to each moment, and as we die in love, so we are reformed in love. It needs great courage to die each moment, but until you can truly surrender, you're not yet a salik, a traveller on the way. A salik is one who has found himself, and when he knows himself, he knows the truth and knows what needs to be done. He sees from the vantage point of knowledge itself, and so contributes towards the change that is necessary. He understands that God needs man's sacrifice and surrender to that evolution can proceed. We are at a point of history when many of the traditional forms are collapsing. Everyone is frantically trying to shore up the religious, political and economic forms of the Western way of life. Politicians and economists try one thing after another to bring about stability, but nothing really happens. There is no real change. And you spiritual seekers go all over the world trying to find the answers to your own pain and confusion. You go to gurus in India and to swamis, astrologers, analysts, all sorts of people whose ways you try for a little while. Now it seems that you are trying the dervishes. He smiled knowingly at me. But is there real change? He went on. What real change do you see? There's still the same confusion, and the deterioration of the old order continues. Everyone is trying to find an answer to the question. But it doesn't matter how much they measure and have opinions. Nothing can really happen because people lack the courage to face change. They want methods to placate their self-righteousness, or explanations of phenomena which they can measure. Anything but real change. But listen to me. At this time, if real change is not brought about, if people do not become saliks, then there is a very real danger that the earth will revert to a state of primordial chaos. It could be, if enough work is not done at the highest level soon, that we will see the end of civilization in our lifetime. Already we have seen such deterioration that it is questionable just how much can be done. The intensity of Hamid's words was frightening. I felt that he was trying to express something to me that was of the utmost importance, something that I was not yet willing to face. My rational mind blocked what he was saying. You're telling me, I said finally, that the future of the world, of this planet, depends on us and the real changes that we make now. That is exactly what I'm telling you, Hamid replied. We are preparing now for the world to come. But when it will come, it is in God's time and not in ours. All you can do now is to work harder and harder on yourself, sleep less and pray more, that you may be given understanding. And in that way it will be easier for you when the time comes. But the time can only come when you have no past to make your mind spin fruitlessly in its habitual patterns. There are many stages beyond what we have touched on, but I cannot tell you when you will be ready to hear of them. It may be in a week that we will begin. It may be in a month. It may not be for years. It depends on you. It is the same with the world. The world is full of concepts and ideas, when what it needs is recognition, so that love can melt away all the pain and the conditioning, and man and the invisible world can cooperate together to build a new way of life in this world. Most of the time you think that I am just talking about you, and that is because you are so completely self-centered that you do not listen properly. Do you not see what this means? If you truly give yourself up, then what I am saying is being said to all those who can hear. And there is no need for us to leave this rock for this to come about. Turn inside out so that you can be of service. And then the words that I speak will be heard by all those in the world who are ready to listen. All the rest of that morning Hamid was in a jovial mood, insisting that we play patience hour after hour. Each time I tried to bring the conversation around to the earlier talk, he would interrupt and stop me before I could so much as complete a question. When I was sick of playing patience, I asked him if we could play something else. Why should you want to play something else, he asked. Patience is a game which can bring out a quality that you must learn. Patience is essential, for otherwise you act too quickly and disturb the plan. The seeds must be sown, then you must wait until they come up at the right time. If you go digging about in the earth before they are ready, you will destroy what has been planted. Patience is one of the most important qualities for anyone who enters this path. You are far too impatient, and that is why I'm playing patience with you. But I'm fed up with this game. You jump from one thing to another, then just when I think we're going to get somewhere and follow up on a line of thought, you go off again, on another track, and I don't know where I am. That, he announced pleasantly, is exactly what I intend. Now, cut the cards, please. That afternoon we ate a late lunch in the restaurant. The night's catch had been laid out, and we chose a huge plate of different sorts of fish, flavoured with wild thyme and fennel, which the cook grilled over charcoal. Hamid was in a talkative mood, and the usual crowd gathered while he expounded in Turkish. 2 weeks ago I would have been offended that he did not pay attention to me, but now I was content to eat quietly and to enjoy watching the men mending their nets by the beached fishing boats. Something had happened that morning. I was no longer trying to understand, and there was no need to do anything but relax to the sounds of the water and feel the afternoon sun on my face. After the leisurely meal, we took a nap on the beach. When we awoke, Hamid suddenly announced that I was to go on the journey by myself the next day. It was a jolt after the peaceful afternoon. Also, the girl had not yet reappeared, and I had planned to see if I could find out where she had gone when she left C-Day. Don't complain, Hamid warned me. You do not yet know the cause of these things. You are to go tomorrow to Konya to visit 3 great saints. You should make all the necessary arrangements today. If you ask Mustafa at the restaurant, he will get the ticket and arrange for you to have a car to get to the bus terminal. But what are you going to do? I asked him. I shall also be travelling tomorrow. A friend of mine is driving me to Istanbul, where I will stay at my cousin's house on the Bosphorus. I will give you the address and you can join me there. But how long should I stay in Konya? That depends on the way in which you go there. The main thing is that you should go with a completely open mind. Do you remember the postcard I gave you in England, when I said that you should come to join me? I certainly could not have forgotten it, for I had carried it with me into Turkey. I told Hamid that the card was in my suitcase and that I looked at it often. That card is a picture of the tomb of Mevlana Jalaluddin Rumi. He is the one to whom you must go to pay your respects. Mevlana means our master, and in our tradition he is known as the pole of love. If you go properly and are received, you may learn a great deal from him. When did he live? I asked. Mevlana lived in the 13th century. I would like to tell you about his life and teachings, but just now I think it is better for you to go there, to go on alone. Perhaps when we meet in Istanbul, we can talk about him a little. There are 3 places that you must go in Konya, and you must go to them in the proper order. The first one is the tomb of Shamsi Tabriz, the son of Tabriz. He was a wandering dervish who led Mevlana into complete abandonment to God. Then you must visit the tomb of Sadruddin Konevi, who was one of Mevlana's earliest and greatest teachers, for he represents the link between Mevlana, who is called the Pole of Love, and Sheikh al-Akbar, Muhaddin ibn Arabi, referred to in our tradition as the Pole of Knowledge. And last, you are to go to the tomb and museum of Mevlana. He too wanted everyone to dance. I could not be sure, but I thought Hamid winked at me. It is a pity that you weren't with me in December when I was in Konya for the great celebration that is held every year to mark the night of his death, or as they call it, his wedding night, when he was taken completely into union. But enough for the moment. Now go and make the necessary arrangements. Then please come and say goodbye to me in the morning before you leave. I think that the bus leaves from Antalya around 6 a.m. So you must be up very early. Oh, that was the end of chapter 7. And I will continue with chapter 8 soon.